What is up, gang? Welcome back to the pitch. I am Circa. With me, as always, is Art and Jew.bacca. How you doing today, fellers?
Good, man.
It's a good day.
I like the intro. I watched last week's stream. I was in the Bahamas doing a little biz dev with my team, and I watched, and I was just like loving every minute of it. So I was like, "Yo, Circa, take this shit over. The pit is yours. I love it." And that intro video, by the way, guys, if you're wondering, this is the man who made it, and also is the guy who made the song that was in it, which I think is double dope. So
yeah, raps.
yeah,
all right,
dude, it's
we got a guest this week, and it is someone who has been referred to on this podcast. It is a man who has been referred to. He has been alluded to by RT.
Yeah,
it's my little cousin.
Man, complex as well. RT, you want to cue him up?
This is my little cousin, man.
Cue me up.
This is my little cousin. Obviously we grew up together, and it's been a dream to hire him at my fund, and he's been crushing the research side. He's a TRI, or I got him shilled early on TRI a couple of years ago, and he's just been crushing. And he's the one who's been writing the reports that I've been referring to in the streams. And so we were kind of like, yo, let's just get Smeety on to shoot the shit. He's in the pit, not as active in the pit because frankly, he's got work to do, and I don't want to see him in there shit posting with all you guys. But he's putting in good work, and he's a smart MFer. Just in case your mom's watching.
Good save, yeah, save.
But no, he's look, dude. I mean, introduce yourself. You study computer science, engineering. Like, you're just sell yourself, homie.
Yeah. I feel like you built me up pretty well there. You didn't leave much work for me to do, but appreciate the intro. I gotta say how nice it is to be here. I mean, I started learning crypto watching Hxro Labs probably 3 years ago. So like,
let's go.
Look at me now, Mom.
Yeah, I'm on TV.
It's a cool moment.
Yeah,
you are out here.
So the brains behind the reports is here. We actually, and in due credit for OX Boomer, he's been working on them with you, but he's not here today, so it's you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so
my partner in crime.
What is going on in the market, Circa? Please talk to me, and don't open with that stupid CEO coin just yet.
Well, you asked me what's going on in the market, and then you asked me not to mention Floki CEO. I don't know what you want, but I think the best leader topic here is just alt season.
Ethereum.
What do you guys think? Are we there? Is this it? 'Tis the season?
This is how it starts. You get, we had the Bitcoin dominance way up at the top. Maybe it's time to switch over to a chart. I don't actually have that chart in front of me, but like we had Bitcoin dominance right where we wanted it, which was breaking out, which is always the scariest place.
We got the ETH Gigabull capitulation. Yamjeet rotated into BTC.
Yeah, perfect timing. So like this, and I think it was, I guess it was on my solo stream on Tuesday. We talked about this as like, look, this looks scary. This looks like I want to be all in Bitcoin because it's going to go, but it's also that potential pivot spot, right? Where we had it down here, same thing. ETH merge was breaking out, and this was like, oh man, we're going to new lows, and then the pivot. So was this the pivot? And at the exact same time, we had, let me find it, ETHBTC. At the exact same time,
yeah, baby.
Look at this thing on the hourly moving, but like, look at this is what we talked about the other day. Was like,
is that a daily W forming right now?
Well, the daily W came, smacked into resistance, looked atrocious, but then we got this cheeky sweep of the low here.
Bigger W within a W.
Yeah, ETHBTC is really like a whale pair in the sense that you get a lot of this. It's like trading Forex. You just get a lot of really nasty sweeps, like invalidations that just get reversed right away, where you're just like out of position all the time. I can speak to that because I'm always out of position on this chart. So like, anyways, it has all the makings of
a varsity athlete.
of a pivot from like the Bitcoin kind of rally into the next part of the rotation, which we know is typically like ETH and then alts. And we talked about it in the pit in the last few days when that big scary 4-hour dump was it 2 nights ago. And I was just in there kind of like, guys, everyone's like, oh, alt seasons are canceled. I'm like, dude, this is the 4-hour dip. It's got to feel scary. It's got to feel nasty. And that's usually what springs into action. And we're seeing it today. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I could add, like we had Shanghai and everyone was kind of the week before it, maybe expecting some selling coming from that. And then Shanghai launched and we've actually seen more deposits than withdrawals. So
although the charts have been adjusted and it seems that the withdrawal queue is not being added to withdrawals. Isn't that the case? Like there's a new withdrawal queue chart.
Oh, okay.
There's like this, a lot. It's a lot. But yeah. If you pull up Hasaka's Twitter, he posted the chart.
Yeah, I think there are several queues that aren't going to be processed until like several weeks from now, right?
Yeah.
Like to point out, Woo Blockchain posted something last night, and I kind of like sarcastically tweeted out like, "Oh yeah, there's going to be all this withdrawing." It was 500 something million of ETH queued to be withdrawn, but if you have to think of that in relative terms. Like yesterday's trade volume alone was something like 13 billion on ETH, I think. So like when you're talking about like, somebody might sell $500 million worth of this coin. I mean, that's not even like what 4% of one day's volume. It's not. It's a peanut. It's a nothing burger.
Right. Yeah.
The bigger story, I think, is like this idea of like an ETH POS reward becoming a new risk-free rate. If that narrative,
the Arthur Hayes thesis.
Yeah, if that narrative takes off, it's trillions.
Lots of TradFi coming in on that tasty 3% risk-free yield.
Yeah, 4%.
4%.
Some exchanges are promotionals right now, like offering 6%, but then you got to stick with them. But like, yeah, the point is it's potentially creating this new like floor of yield in the world, and that's really fucking cool.
Pull up Total 2.
Yeah,
another of our favorite alt season indicators had a nice, tasty little what some might call a breakout on the weekly.
Oh, look, I had a squiggly on it too for what this year might look like.
So yeah, I got that the reversal in September, October as a line. I know you've got the summer highs as a line here.
Yeah, this is weird. Okay, so help me out because the thing where you can switch between log and not log seems to have disappeared on Trade.
Yeah, people were talking about that today on
so this is on log, I guess. Okay, right off here. Okay, so this is more what I was looking at.
Right.
And for prefer to view it as yep.
That one right there, we busted that over the last 24 hours.
Looks good, tastes great. I mean, that's a big level, and that's the level that ETH is just kind of taking, and actually ETH's a little higher up, but yeah, everything. Let's just say this: nothing looks like a top. You can find hourly divergences and little weird things along the way, but like when you look at this chart really zoomed out, you're like, it's a really weird place to think top.
Yeah,
really weird.
And Ansem is bearish, so we're good.
Is he?
Yeah,
I don't.
Me
and Jew.bacca track religiously the Ansem indicator.
Okay.
Oh, that's been such a good indicator.
Yeah.
He
literally
was just posting endlessly a couple days ago before Shanghai. Just ETHBTC looks so bad, and I'm like,
yeah.
This is all I need.
It was like, if we're gonna get an alt season and there's going to be a catalyst for ETHBTC to reverse, what could it possibly be after Shanghai? It had to be that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. It was more like it looks like trash. ETHBTC looks like trash. It did.
Yeah,
but like if it's gonna pivot, and then we got that little, the little daily sweep of the low. I'm just like, and then Shanghai's tonight. I gotta take that bet.
Yeah.
I'd happily lose money on that bet every single Shanghai.
Yeah. Everyone.
Why not? So far it's paying off. And the coolest part about this is it really hasn't moved that far. Like zoom out. I mean, we haven't even retaken one significant level yet. So
yeah,
either that means it's too early to celebrate or it's like very early to celebrate.
We could get a full alt season in that remaining distance, I think. I really
Just to here?
Yeah. I think we could get a full alt season in the remaining distance between Total 2 and the resistance from last summer.
Yeah. Like, wait, up here?
No. The blue
All the way
line.
down here. Yeah, like just right here.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be your sell and may walk away. I mean, if the
Yeah.
next 3 weeks fill up to that level, very possibly, you know, there's resistance there, big resistance there. Like, yep, I buy it. With babies coming maybe in May, maybe in June. They're due end of June, but like we're all on watch now already. So like I'm just sitting here like, yo, is it too much to ask for to just get like a fuck you rally for 5 weeks and then let me sell and
Let's
then
go.
like have a really shitty summer that I don't miss because you know.
I mean, that's kind of what it looks like.
Let's go. That'd be
Let's
really
go.
nice. So if I
What?
can...
So with that in mind, let's go down the list. Do a little bit of a roundtable positioning. RT, what are you looking at? What are your bags? Show them to us.
Well, ETH is my biggest position, I think, in spot terms. Let me pull it up. I've switched a lot. I do a lot of paper handing here lately, just pivoting around. Let me just find my goddamn portfolio page. But like STG is a big alt of mine. Blur is a big alt of mine. For two separate reasons. I don't believe I have the page I'm looking for, so I'm just going to open it. Too many tabs, you know the life. Yeah, so ETH is my biggest position, followed by WETH. And then,
diversified.
I'm very diversified. Just so you know, hedging some risk there.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Stargate is still my biggest position. And I don't know if that's optimal for like what's hot ball of money right now. I really like this level. We got the weekly W we've been talking about for a while. Let me pull it up here. Look at this.
It's a high probability trade at the end.
It is, and this is it versus ETH. So it even looks, you know, that's almost. I want to talk about that today. Like, you know, should we be starting to chart versus ETH if it's about to have like a melt up? And I think we should. I mean, especially in my case, if I'm trading out of ETH to get something else, right? Right now, I'm basically out of cash. So, but like Stargate just looks good. Big weekly W, back to the reload zone, new W out of that. Like, so that's my biggest alt right now. Whether or not it's hot hand, I don't know. Blur and Hera, look at Hera right now.
What is Hera?
I know, right? What is this coin? It's in price discovery.
Cheating with another hero?
No, yeah. Well, this is an investment of mine, like from way back, like obviously well before it launched. We seeded this and I hadn't touched it at all. And then I just like the other day I was looking at it, I was like, damn, this shit's in price discovery quietly over on Metis. This is clearly not like a show my bag in the sense of like go buy the brand new all-time high, but it is in price discovery and it just broke out. So, you know,
there's worse things you can do in crypto than buy an all-time high.
Well, price discovery breakouts actually are a thing. We talked about the other day, like, you know, if you guys don't want to read a good book, the Way of the Turtles. I know Gunny even highly recommends that book. It's about some Chicago traders that went ham back in the 80s or something. Anyways, they had a trend trading system of like buying breakouts to new all-time highs, which in the S&P worked really well for a long time. And then FXS is another bag that I have.
Same, dude.
Yeah.
Same.
And then, yeah, just today I decided like I'm going to start thinking about it. I had it for like a week, but today I'm starting to think like about it versus ETH. Like, how does it look versus ETH is kind of my new question now that I'm feeling this kind of ETH explosion, but it looks really good in general. This is the USD chart.
Yeah, I got to get back into this one for sure. This is one I had a while back, and it just never quite took off after it broke out of that initial range. But now we're back down to it and got a W. Oh yeah,
it's one of those ones, right, that just like breaks out of this thing, so it like just tickles your nuts through this whole thing and just makes you think it's going to go skyward, and then you forget about it for a month, and then when it is higher, you're like, damn.
Yeah, it's also narrative crystal meth, right? Because it's a stable coin, it's a liquid staking derivative, it's decentralized, stable swap, it's everything.
And it's got some really sick DeFi tokenomics. I also read something recently, actually, that was not an accidental plug. In your report, Smeety, I read that it's almost fully circulating.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Super cool. So inflation being less of an issue.
Yeah,
we were talking about.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, we were talking about this in the pit as well. Like FXS also likes to bore you for a while and then just have like a ridiculous God candle out of nowhere. So you just have to kind of be okay with holding it while other things are pumping and not have like this opportunity cost feeling.
Yeah, you're not gonna long right before reaction on that thing.
Yeah, and I actually had it. I have a weird relationship with it where like I'm not convicted enough on it where it's like, oh, it looks good technically, but if some other shit's moving for a week, I'll switch. But then the other day when I went to do that, I only sold like half the bag. So like I still got a decent bag of FXS because I just looked at this chart. I said, I refuse to want to buy back higher. So I'm keeping some.
I consistently forget that I locked a bunch of FXS in the bull.
Oh, there you go.
So I have a bunch of it.
So you're holding no matter what, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, but I actually leveraged longed it today. Let's go, gang.
I think lastly, I would say lit. If I'm talking about my bags, I'm big on lit. I think this thing has huge potential through a cycle. So not like, it's whatever day you want to pick of the week, but like cycle wise, I love this thing. It's 60 mil FDV. It's kind of like your curve or whatever for Uniswap V3. So it's going to have a lot of like this gauge voting kind of stuff going on. It already does. Hidden hand bribes are coming in, real yield type stuff. And I actually don't really hold any lit because I locked all of it for 4 years recently, and I'm just LPing and farming it. And it's got really cool tokenomics. I've talked about it before, and the chart looks good, tastes great.
Very nice.
That's it. Yeah.
Jew.bacca, what you got, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a governor.
Oh yeah. Yep. This man is serious about governance.
Yeah, I am. I'm at the table. So yeah, ARB is definitely my biggest position. I just love new coins that get fudded to death, and you can just like feel the cope in the chart. And I've been loading up around.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oof.
I
posted this wedge in the pit last night pre-breakout, just almost to be like, haha, like Circa, look at these diags. Should have longed it. But I got bids in this PCC. Y'all best believe that. But anyways, continue. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know if we get it, man.
You never feel like you will until you buy the top and then it comes in and you puke into the PCZ. I've learned this.
Yeah. We'll see.
I'm keeping mine down there.
Yeah. I've got bids ready. But I mean, my kind of thought process here is that there's like so much pain and so much FUD, at the bottom, like recently, during that recent
we know that there's people who were several multiples of their net worth long in this and just it did nothing.
Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, there's so many people watching it, there's so many people coping right now. Is it really going to give people a chance to buy a dip here shortly? I don't know. And I think like generally, I think a lot of alts won't. I think like there was just so much FUD on, like the death of altcoins 2 days
and all
ago.
the chances in the world to get positioned.
Yes. Altcoins have been boring, generally speaking, for what, like a month and a half?
Since the 25K mid cycle top.
Yeah. So, there's been this is crypto talk. It feels like a lifetime, but it's really not long at all. But there's been a lot of opportunities to accumulate stuff like this. And I think you're going to have to be forced to buy a top and just be okay with it.
Yeah.
Well, this chart total 2 agrees with you in the sense that, and this like we've been talking about quite a bit. It's like the next leg typically is the big aggressive one, the one that just like blows your mind, doesn't let you in. But look, for those of you watching, careful because everything has pullbacks. And like, this is why I invented this tool, because you can just follow price up. And then in a day, in 2 days, maybe it's in 6 days, when that little fuck you comes, it just taps and goes.
I'm not advocating for buying the top of ARB right now.
Honestly, there's no coin you have to top long until I go over my coins, so don't worry.
Honestly, I like Blur as a better play that like hasn't probably caught up yet. So
and could catch that airdrop echo kind of. That's my thesis, anyways.
It's also narratively should be ETH beta, right?
Yep, and NFT. Look at this chart though. Like I've been in the pit like every other night. Even remember that dip the other night, Jew.bacca, and you're like, it felt bad. We were like getting filled and we were already underwater. And And I just said,
yeah.
I said, but this is what we wanted. We wanted
No,
these fills. And you said, I'm not quitting. I'm not selling.
Yeah, I mean, this
Keep
is literally why I'm here, but like it's good to just kind of talk about how it feels,
Oh, 100%. Like I'm in the pit coping because I showed you like last night, every one of my perps was underwater.
Yep.
So it's like most trades you start, what are you going to perfect pip every time? You start underwater. And in perp town, it's hard because you just see like negative $2,000 and you're like, fuck, I could go on vacation for that. Like no matter how big a port gets or how much you trade, like it always comes back to like the amount of groceries you could buy with like,
Yeah.
So
I mean,
this thing looks fucking delicious.
So Jew.bacca, you're in ARB and Blur?
No, I'm not in Blur. I would just say that, if you were looking for a similar trade, I would rather choose Blur at this point than ARB.
Right.
My other biggest bag is Kanto.
Hey.
Yeah.
Jealous.
Like it.
So jealous.
You like the Kanto.
Dude, this thing just doesn't give you a chance to enter ever.
It's very hard to enter in perps.
Yeah.
And exit.
Oh, on perps? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call
liquidity.
bullshit because one of the guys at our funds has been farming this and he was telling us about it every week on the call. And I kept seeing this chart and I like, that just looks awful. I'm not touching it. And then up here, I regretted my life choices. And then down here, I just said the same thing. I said, I'm not touching it. Kanto gave everybody a chance to get long. But
okay, yeah, sure. But like, I mean,
I guess
like
once it starts,
like
once
never
it
like
stops
you
sucking, it goes quick. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
It just V bottoms and goes.
It does have these really insane reversals. Like it just looks like death, and then it just looks like the next best thing. So
love it.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's just breaking out of a level. So I mean, there's a trade here for me now. There's a trade here for me if we got out of that little area and then touched it again from the other side.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And shout out to JC Denton in the pit. He's playing some Kanto NFTs. I think he did a 4x overnight in something called Kanto Yayos.
Lovely.
So, I think this is a really great time to kind of do some digging on, real shit coins in the Kanto ecosystem, including Kanto NFTs. Before everyone just dumps on you.
I'm longing Note. Is that a good one?
Yeah.
Stablecoin?
Yeah, it's a stablecoin.
Okay. I was gonna be like, wait, I'm looking it up like a dumbass.
It's their native stablecoin.
What about Velocimeter though? That flow, the fourth one there.
You like the flow?
Yeah, that's the solidly fork over there.
Oh, really?
That thing.
Well, it's interesting to me. People keep saying solidly fork, and I'm like, solidly didn't do too great.
Yeah. What? Solidly kind of sucked, but all of its forks seem to be doing well.
Its forks are outperforming it by light years.
Then you have
an issue though. Like Andre stepped away, and then it just was like,
and then it didn't work very well because of how Phantom works. But I digress.
Phantom was the issue.
I yield back. Speaking of Phantom, I mean, no. Sorry, Jew.bacca, continue your bags because I think this one might be in Smeety's wheelhouse. He's been telling me about Phantom for days now.
Sure. Yeah, not too much else. I'm in Stargate as well, so same as you guys. I think it's an easy, high probability trade for a 2x from like 70 cents. That's all I'm really hoping for. And then I'm still in Poison from.
Good, because you told me to max long that thing, and I'm underwater, dude.
Yeah, I've got max conviction in Poison. I just love it when that thing moves, or just when it moves, it moves. And we've been consolidating for a while around this dollar range. If that first pump wasn't the top, which I don't think it is, I think we're going for 2 to 3.
Looks not bad. I mean, you often see this, right? Where you get the huge move, but then it's just a lot of sideways boredom. Everyone looks elsewhere, and then you look back, you're like, shit, I forgot to buy Poison. I am gonna forget to buy Poison. I'm telling you right now, I'm in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm not fucking buying that thing. But
this one looks like I want to just buy it at range lows there. Like it's just gonna be a range for a while. Like you said, it'll be boring, but pick up near the lows, and if it breaks out, you're laughing.
Yeah. And what is that? Like right here, basically just touched them. If you want to pick a range, you probably get this level.
Yeah.
And then up here. Yeah. I mean, hey, if you're thinking range, it's still decent. And then obviously, like you said, take some off at range highs if it's a range, and if it's not and it breaks out, you still got your half bag.
Yeah.
Well, Is that that's the exhaustive list of your bags, Jew.bacca?
Pretty much. Yeah, I have some other like scattered dust and things that I don't really care about bringing
I
up.
noticed Chinese Ethereum's not in the coins that you named.
Yeah,
one?
I mean,
Both of them.
I dumped it from where Arb at $1.32, and I'm not upset. And I'm not upset about it.
Which Chinese Ethereums are you talking about? Because I seen you shit posting in the
CFX.
pit, and I always just think of Neo, but I know you're not talking about Neo.
No, I'm talking about El Clasico,
Ethereum Classic.
Okay.
and then Conflux.
Yeah.
I've looked at. I've literally never traded ETC once, and
That's
regrettably
harebrained move, sir.
Yeah, regrettably, because it has had its
Chart it
moments.
against ETH in the Yamjeet rally of summer 2022.
Oh wow, yeah, that was like the easiest trade that everyone missed.
Yeah, completely outperformed ETH.
Summer 20. Oh, versus ETH. Okay, we can do that over here. Ethereum Classic versus ETH.
Everyone was euphoric on the ETH run, and Hisako was laughing at them all because he longed ETC.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. That's a nice outperformance on versus ETH. So I mean, right now though, versus ETH, come on.
That's what this is the time, man. This is the time when you will look back and you will say, Circa told me Chinese Ethereum, it makes sense.
Sisyphus and Saka are in it, so you know they're gonna pump it.
They're going to talk about it, and then people that follow them will buy it.
It.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yep. And then get out before
it's at the level then, in that case, versus ETH.
Level.
And then, I just have like one more quick thing that I'm looking at. Circa, when you pointed out that PRY was just absolutely mooning today, it kind of like brought this idea of broken dreams from Camelot launches that just like flopped. And there's a lot of them. So
you didn't pick up PRY?
No, I didn't pick up PRY.
You told me to gig along with my daughter's college fund, PRY, and then you don't own it.
Yep. But there's so many of these charts where they launched on Camelot and it was just down only. I think pre-sailers and I don't know who else would have been involved in like from a VC standpoint, but there's a lot of pain in these charts, and with ARB mooning, we're gonna get like some massive rallies, I think.
Nice rotations,
from some of these. Yeah. So
I love how you talk about charts as like you find pain in charts. It's such an underrated. It is really an underrated analysis angle, like to just like, because then the pain turns into the FOMO, and the FOMO is your fuel.
Yeah, it's almost like a bell curve, right? You want either it's already outperforming or it's depressing, but not in between.
Yeah. So I really just try to collect things where I see just massive amounts of FUD on Twitter, and collect ideas around that, and just track them for a little while. And
which is the one then? So not PRY. Which is this painful Camelot thing you're talking about?
Yeah, well, I mean, PRY is one of them.
Okay.
I think that's why it sent so hard.
It's my pain you're talking about.
Yeah. This is actually Circa's tears in this candle here.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, PRY is a great example. I think you can look into like factor, sector, basically just look at anything that's launched recently. On
any launch they've had in the last 2 months. Holy shit.
Yeah. Like look at this.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we can do better. Like, yes, there's pain baked into this chart, but there's probably a lot more pain potentially.
It looks like a little too much pain.
Yeah.
Looks like luring you in
not enough yet.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Well, cool beans. It's your first time to do this, so your inaugural bag shilling, SmeetyBoop. What you got?
Yeah, let me get shameless and shill my bags. Manifold, their recent LSD upgrade, I think is going to be one of the better LSD protocols. For a couple reasons. I think MEV ETH being omni-chain native is massive, right? Like through this next bull cycle, we're probably going to see a big omni-chain rally, probably going to see a big LSD rally. So we got kind of both of those narratives working for it now. as well as
Stargate LSD.
Yeah, exactly. Like if
Kinda
they had a
thing.
baby, and it's just going to be like a no-brainer to hold MEV ETH or something that's multi-chain native, because why would you wrap your ETH and then go from chain to chain with it if you could deposit your ETH to get MEV ETH and go chain to chain for cheaper, more secure, and it's going to pay you to hold it, right?
Could you explain MEV ETH in like 7 sentences? Like it's just like ETH that accrues MEV rewards within itself, like a wrapper. Like what's going on?
Yeah. Okay. So you deposit ETH and you get MEV ETH, and you can use that to claim your rewards for the underlying ETH. So your underlying ETH is producing rewards, and also the MEV services that Manifold offers are going to be paying you out as well. So you have this ETH that is easy to take from chain to chain and pays you to hold it, basically.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
So
and then obviously then what's going to get built that uses that in DeFi, because that kind of like MEV ETH could then just be tooled into other protocols for shit.
Yeah, that's right. And then this builds into their system that they already have so well, because they have their block building service. And initially the idea was like, let's try to capture as many mempools as we can. So that was like Sushi Guard. We're going to be the only one that can mess around with the blocks on Sushi Guard to try to create that most valuable block for the block building. But now they have this validator set as well, so they can actually validate their own blocks. So they don't even need to fight over like mempool percentage within ETH, because they can just build their own blocks and approve them using their own validators.
Wow. Yeah. And this is like new to Ethereum entirely, right? This whole block proposal MEV strategy. It's like something Vitalik baked into the upgrades, right?
That's right. Yeah.
It's kind of new territory. And Fold was the first I heard of it, of this whole like block building, like the race to be the biggest block builders. And as you become the block builder, you get a certain thing. Now I think I used to track all this stuff, like Flashbots was like had a massive kind of, not monopoly, but like they were leading. But we were kind of speculating that it's going to end up just being 3 or 4 like of the major block builders. Is that what's going on with that?
I disagree now. So that was like a big worry at the start, because it's like, okay, now you have the ETH network and it incentivizes centralization of these block builders, right? Because if you don't build the most valuable block, your block's not going to get approved. But what I think it's going to move towards is like, there's going to be a bunch of exclusive companies that just have their own full stack validation, block building, MEV, kind of like what Manifold's doing. And then everyone can kind of just approve their own blocks. So there's no need to have like 3 massive players that build all the blocks.
Okay.
So it's good for it's net positive for the network too, right? Because it decentralizes the block building.
Yeah, and it creates a sort of market for it too, right? Where you can have optionality. There was also talk of like institutional order flow, like, like kind of having deals with block builders, so you could make sure that your shit gets through, and that could become a big deal. So I digress to you. I mean, every time I need technical stuff on things, I'm just like, Smeety, explain this to me. Like I'm just staring at charts and changing diapers. Like, what the hell's going on over there?
And then I go ask ChatGPT.
It circles back to me. I have a ChatGPT. I should start talking.
No, I'm joking. It doesn't know that much about crypto. Honestly, it's not that impressive.
All right, so you loaded up on Fold. What else you got?
So I'm pretty centralized in terms of my bags, but I definitely have a couple more that I'm looking at. So Phantom is a chart that I keep bringing up.
Yeah, he keeps shilling me on Phantom, and you go ahead.
I don't even know what's going on chain. I'm just kind of looking at the chart, and you might want to pull up the Phantom BTC chart. That was the one I really liked.
So you're not into Phantom shitcoins then?
No, not at all. I literally have no money over on that chain. I would just trade Phantom perps if I wanted to.
Are you scared because of how spooky it is?
Halloween coins.
That's the thing. It's like a Halloween. I just can't take it seriously. And to my own, like whatever you want to call it, like
it's serious as a heart attack. Random.
Missed all this.
It's a meme, and memes pump hard.
I know. I'm a boomer.
I feel like it memed itself
scary ghosts.
It almost like memed itself in the wrong way, because now it is a ghost town over there.
Yeah.
Right. So
kind of.
I'm
Kind
sure there's
of.
builders over there that would hate that you just said that because they're grinding.
Yeah.
But like, I agree on the TVL, like it's just not sexy right now. But you know what? That is usually when you want to position. So it's more about like, let's, like diving into what's really going on the chain. I'm sure it's not nothing. And then this is the chart you see, which is like, and then you look back 6 months later and everyone's like, oh, man, I'm sick. And you're like, damn it.
Yeah.
It's just always been an interesting security approach that in practice is a poor user experience. The way that, I don't know if you know about, isn't it the whisper method where they like, did I just freeze? It's like when you submit a transaction, all these nodes whisper it to each other. It's not supposed to be like fully propagated throughout the entire network. It just needs to hit a few, right?
Yeah, you're asking the wrong guy. I don't know
Okay.
much about
Gotcha.
it.
I have yet to request.
You warned me, and I took the bait anyways. But yeah. It's just hard to get transactions through on that network. But it's one of those charts where, just like CFX, this chart to me was hard to gauge whether I should short or long this because it looks like a great either one. That was like a few weeks back, and
you actually talked me out of my CFX short. I'm not going to blame you live on the air more than once, but Smeety and I were working on that short for like a week.
Damn, dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I ruined your guys'
legit
work.
Contributed 5% to my pussiness when I finally closed my asks.
Yeah,
but that's okay. I'm an adult, and
you'll see. I saved you.
It's okay. Alts are gonna run. Yeah.
I hope so, dude. I hope so, dude, because my stop loss was like at 45 cents, like right here. So I perfectly filled. But yeah, I think it's gonna go higher now.
Given you're not a scalper, I saved you.
I bet it better go higher. I really hope so. It's gonna feel much better.
Yeah. But yeah, so FTM is what you've got your eyes mostly on besides fold.
No, I would say that RT kind of pushed me into shilling that just now.
Yeah, it's the one that I remember you keep telling me. You're like, FTM looks pretty good. What do you really like in the market?
Yeah, the chart looks good. Yeah, I just don't know enough, and I don't know the fundamentals, but I do think that we're gonna get like a nice L1 rally. So one that I've had my eye on for a while now is Sol, or over the past week, I should say, and we just got that nice big breakout. So I'm gonna watch to see if we get like a Sol season, because the TVL over there has just been mooning. There was 2 weeks where the whole chain's TVL 2x'd. This was while the coin was in a downtrend.
It's cool because it's at resistance, and so it's really decisive because we're getting that huge announcement today. If it's going to reject, this is the day, and if not, like it's clear skies.
Yeah.
Well, the sick thing is if it flips this level, much like a lot of the other coins in the market, it's kind of like Bitcoin and ETH just did. It's in this whole new range now, and this all becomes one of your copyright deviations, right? Where you're just kind of like, hey, we're in a new range, and it's actually like you're longing the bottom.
Yeah.
What is this announcement? Can you talk us through it? Can you show me on Twitter? Like, where do we go to talk? What is
Smeety, are you in line for a Sol phone?
What's that?
Are you
in line for a Sol phone?
The Solana
Sol phone? Yeah.
No, not yet. I should probably get in line though, eh?
Yeah, probably.
Any of you signed up for that?
No, dude.
No.
Come on.
As a Hxro staker, I should probably do that. I feel like there'll be some integration there.
I probably should, because I'm actually supporting the Solana network in a way, because I've been mining both pollen and helium, which is
Hxro helium.
Yeah. Hxro pilled me on mining both of those, and so pollen didn't really work out, but I still got ROI positive, so can't really complain. And helium is I'm like up 50%, so can't really complain about that one. But the idea is that you convert your home Wi-Fi to basically like a 5G signal with these radios, and then it's going to support the Solana network. I'm not sure if that's actually what's going to happen, but I know that the founder of Helium and Tolly are very tight. So
multi-coin capital is like a big Helium holder. Kyle Salami. Real quick, that's actually a perfect transition as we get into Solana. You mentioned TVL. I just want to give a shout out to Hero Network because the guys over there, and I should say the guys over here, but Hxro Labs is really kind of separate. But the guys over there are crushing, just hit $250 million total network volume, which is insane. I think that doubled in like a month after taking like 6 months to reach the first bit.
Let's go.
And I think a big chunk of the TVL growth on Solana has actually come through Hero Network, according to Anatoly, who is like tweeting us out over the last couple of weeks, like tweeting out Hero Network stats.
That was sweet.
So we all love that shit around here, obviously. And then as I scroll down their feed, I see
shouts.
Shouts out to Circa. You know, you're next in line to show your bags. Like, I mean, what are you holding?
So aside from stuff that is not a trade, it's a hold for me. As of this morning, I've got Bonk, which deserves its own little aside. Veracity, Aptos, the Chinese Ethereums, FXS, Kanto, Floki, and Floki CEO.
Jesus. So you went all in like the deep end shit coins of Dogtown.
Oh yeah, dude. So Bonk, I had it on my chart. If you draw a line, I mean, you already did, right? Or the price line is that line.
Is now, yeah. So we're at resistance.
But by the way, I mean, it broke resistance. IMO. If you draw it on those right there.
On the Wix, I show Bonk
on the Wix, dude.
Yeah.
I show Bonk in the pit, and it did a 35x. I sold it at a 4x. So
wow, what an idiot!
Oh, back here.
Yeah, I shilled it before that run. Yeah.
That was bad. So, well, dude, I ignore you half the time in the pit because I got to focus on like my trading. But I went and looked at Bonk when you said it yesterday, and it actually does look really good.
Yeah, sexy. So I had it charted as like, if it gets back above this, I'm gonna long any pullback to 0.50 and then 1.5 because that's where I think it might top out at next. And I saw it going for that line, and I just took it anyways because I was like, alt season starting. This is gonna break this resistance. I'm gonna long. Nice retest.
Look at that. That's a really clean body close on the 4 hour. I like that.
So
on chain.
I'm in from slightly below that resistance. I bought as much as MEXC perps would allow me to without telling me that I'm crazy. And then I bought some spot. So that's my main, probably my main Dami right now is Bonk.
It does look like I'm about to do the dog thing, kind of like with the rising volume, breaking resistance. I might have to go move some money onto Solana chain to pick up some bonks.
Let's go, dude.
The nice thing is I actually am an inadvertent bonk holder because as a hero staker, I've been accruing bonk through all the bonk and bust reward fees sharing. So that's
it's the first live mainnet implementation of parimutuels, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Let's go, dude.
Outside of Iconic, which is like the classic, boom or moon wrecked. And then, bonk bust is basically that, but for betting on bonk price action. So, all the bonk going to hero stakers like through the fees. So I do have some bonk.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say I'm on with you. What else you like?
Floki CEO, dude.
I
don't get what's so funny. Everyone's laughing.
The fact that we're all laughing is probably a really good sign for you.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So we have a governor and a CEO on the stream.
Yeah, you got Floki, which is already an outperformer. It's like $1 billion market cap dog coin, and then the CEO drops a coin. Forget about it, dude.
What's the market cap in this one?
Probably not great. And so
I'm just curious that like perps are trading on this thing. That's what, like a couple mil?
Yeah, for sure.
Look it up.
Yeah, I have no idea. I didn't 60... investigate. That sounds like something that a mid curver would do, and it is not mid curve season.
No.
Yeah, it's got a lot of zeros here. This is the thing when I try to discuss price action on these, it just gets so nauseating. And I guess that's your point though. You're like, don't discuss.
Don't. What are you doing?
You just
it's Floki, and then it's chief executive officer. What else do you need to know, dude? Let's go.
The meme is, if this thing goes to even $1,
Yeah, even 1 cent.
So rich, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, take it to
Even
a
one
penny,
penny.
baby. Give me that million X.
So yeah, I pulled out a nice little 200% 30-minute trade from that bottom, and then I got out and reloaded once I couldn't stand not being in the best coin ever.
Okay.
And now I'm just riding it, dude. I think we see. I think this is not it for Floki CEO. The top is not in. Act accordingly.
The volume thing's weird. It's like all green volume. It's just for this coin, or maybe it's a MEXC API thing. But either way, it is in a zone. You know, like this is where I'm like, oh, if I was FOMOing, this would probably be an area where I could consider loading up. So I'm not.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones in the back of my head. I'm like, I'm not fucking buying that. But like, it's also one of those ones in 2 weeks. You'll be like, Foggy CEO, you didn't buy.
You're asking a lot of questions and
Yeah.
saying a lot of words, and that is not the environment we're in.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go ahead and vibe and chill. I also have the Floki vanilla, the classic Floki, because, you know, you got to diversify. You have to stay safe. You don't want all of your stuff in high volatile beta assets.
Floki was a good winner for me last cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's huge.
Where's its best chart? Like, I see a KuCoin chart. OKX has, I don't know. I always feel like weird about charting on OKX because
probably the longest history chart is on chain, right?
Is it? Okay. Yeah,
they had a huge advertising campaign last cycle.
Oh,
I remember that, dude. I was seeing it on bus stops in Canada.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it was
weird. It's kind of a top signal, actually. As
if someone puts $10 into Floki CEO, it's going to new all-time highs.
That's actually a red flag for a mid-curve.
How do they have perps for that?
I digress.
MEXC, the international exchange, dude. They have international liquidity.
I think you sound like you should be the CEO of some kind of shitcoin right now.
I had to buy. I had to buy.
It's called MPP.
Yeah. So that's what I'm looking at, dude. I'm looking at the highest beta, the furthest edge of the risk curve, because I really do think we're in close to end times for this whole rally. And
yeah, what's your vague time frame?
I don't know, dude. I think it would be quite poetic if that was where we stopped on total 2. Sure. If we stopped at 32K on BTC, if we stopped at 2200 on ETH, that would make a whole lot of sense, even if for like a very small retrace that's more time-based capitulation than anything. So I remain bearish and fully in Floki CEO.
All right. Yeah. In sum,
yeah,
this bear is only holding one coin.
Yeah. So that's kind of my thesis, is like, all right, all the high beta shit that we saw rally hard in January is going to go again. Capture a piece of it, sell in May or late April and GTFO, and maybe take some nice 1x swing shorts. Maybe. I am.
Well, with having gone through the roundtable of bags, I have I got to go back to Gann, because this shit just drives everyone nuts looking at it. But I explain it every day, so I'm not going to explain it fully now. But it's just support resistance. Think of all these lines as support resistance. Think of these arcs as places where price likes to ride them down, or like we call them the speed bumps. So like moving through these oftentimes is like slow, and so like through here, and then on the other side of the arc, bam. So this thing, I drew it up 2 years ago, and more and more now I'm just referring back to it because I realize how accurate it's been, and it's coming into the end of its time, right? This square ends here, and then I'd have to find some new low high pivot, which will actually probably be the FTX lows to whatever this peak becomes, to draw the next Gann square that could paint us the picture for the next bull market. And all I want to say here is that we've just been cleanly interacting with some levels over the last couple of weeks. Or months, really. And so like even like that bank crisis was just a tag down into this, and then it just teleported to the resistance, chilled there for like 21 days. And so as we break out, close above this angle, and then close another green, and then we just retested it. So all that to say, like, I just see blue skies above, and that makes sense for what I already think, which is like next leg kind of stuff. And it's usually a pretty strong next leg, like that third wave in a 5-way cycle. So Bitcoin, from this point of view, whether you think ETH leads and it's alt season, whatever. I don't have one of these squares on for ETH, but like if Bitcoin gets dragged up kicking and screaming by Ethereum, who's outperforming, that would be ideal. But this just looks good. It just looks good. It just does, like, nothing here looks like a top. Now, and then some guys will come in and say, well, hey, look, it's bearish divergence and that. And you can't ignore those things unless, of course, you have other reasons to, like everything else we just talked about.
Unless, of course, you put fingers in both ears and say, la, 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 la.
Yeah, like at some point, these kind of divergences and falling volume will pay to pay attention to. But nothing about it makes sense to me that we would
that volume drop off is wild. That can't that has to be in some.
Well, this is the Binance one, and this is because they turned off feeless trading, right?
Yeah, I figured.
And in fact, I thought it was a really cool psyops. They turned on feeless trading, kind of like through the lows, which it looked like we were having accumulation. Gunny pointed out that it's like a very crafty marketing ploy, because he says they just adjust the spreads on their like base market makers, and essentially they make up for those lack of fees with like wider spreads or something.
Yeah.
He's a market maker. He knows that shit, but apparently it was all a fugazi. But they turned it off. I think they switched it to like Bitcoin TUSD.
Yeah, what's Coinbase volume look like?
So exactly, that's probably a more accurate one, and it actually doesn't look too great. If I'm being honest, mate, it's not all that great.
Just to say, in Aggr, if you're an Aggr junkie like myself, you know that Coinbase is the reason we've went up.
Is it?
Coinbase Chad has been wrecking shorts. Whoever it is, I don't think it's Sailor.
Yeah.
But Coinbase tends to save the day and also make life miserable for shorters.
This looks really weird. I think Aggr's broken for me.
Yeah, something's wrong there. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I mean, look, we had consolidation. We were below a big level, and so volume falling off there makes sense. You want to see the first week, or at the very least the second week of whatever breakout follows, to be like new highs in volume, or at least new local highs. So we don't necessarily have to like outperform this volume up here on the breakout candle of like this next leg, but you certainly want to see rising volume through the next few weeks if we're moving up. If you start to see that rolling over consistently, that's where I get a little concerned, and that's what I expect to see around 40K, 42K, which are still my targets for like the next leg kind of peak. But you know, for whatever that means, like nobody knows for sure. But seeing all this selling die here, and then the bulls wake up as we break all the levels we just talked about, like it's just so fucking strong, dude. It's
like, you also can adjust for different things. Like you can adjust for how much short OI wipe we got on that first impulse, which tends to multiply volume. You can adjust for the actual price distance behind each volume bar to say like, well, okay, kind of makes sense that we have a drop off in volume. These are all ways to cope if you're giga bullish.
Yeah, just finding your way around, like, you know, like somebody's like, what about that bear div? I'm like, turn it off. I don't want to hear about it. I'm really trying to stay focused on that Gann square wherever I left it here, but like it's just I left it here. It's just every time I've stopped paying attention to it, I look back and say, damn, I should have just traded that. Like, for example, when we had the banking crisis weekend, and you know, you and I were going back and forth in the pit because I was really bullish here, like trying to like buy these local reload zones, right? And Smeety knows because we were trying to long together, like we were sitting in there, and
you both were like, that damn Circa.
Yeah, he keeps telling me he's bearish, and I couldn't find a level down here. Like there was like, it wasn't quite the reload zone. It was way through the pump zone. Like I was just in no man's land because I wasn't watching this chart. Now, thank goodness, I did manage to just was like, fuck it, and I bought back in. After getting stopped out here, so it's all good. But every time I look away from this chart, a month later, I regret it, and I find it's been playing the level. So I'm sticking with it this time. We just flipped all this shit. We retested it. I think we go, and I don't think we wait around the way we waited around just here. We could just be really painful sideways up, sideways up, sideways up. But like Jew.bacca said, I think we're getting into that place where there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of FOMO, and there's not a lot of like waiting around.
Yeah, the consolidations are getting shorter. It's almost like we had a nice big one after we came off the lows, faked it out, and then we had a 2-week one recently, blasted through it. Like,
yep, and that's not unique to like this month. This, you know, that's human nature. That's the cycle. That's the flow of markets, like accelerating trends, right? Acceleration of trend gradually, then suddenly. It's we see it time and time again, and it's driven by human behavior, which has not changed in 100,000 years, like at the evolutionary level, probably. So it's not going to change in 5 years. It certainly didn't change since last month, and so you see things like these long consolidations, and then the leg up, and then a long consolidation, and then an aggressive leg up, and then an even more aggressive leg up. Like, it's these accelerations, and I expect this time probably is not going to be a whole lot different.
I was looking at the CBD daily on Aggr the other day, and I was thinking, because I pointed out, I think last stream, but like how the spot CBD was just down only during the rally to 25K. And then it just shot up at once we hit 19.6. And it reminded me the other day of someone had said, like, when institutions miss the boat, they tend to bring the boat back.
Like, they saw this and they got pissed, and they were like, fuck it, let's cause a banking crisis, shut down every
let's
bank,
nuke this thing.
And then you saw spot CBD sneaking up here before price.
Yeah, if you go on Aggr daily, you can, it's clear as day. Spot CBD was down only through the whole. I think you've got net CBD on.
I probably don't have it setting. Yeah, I haven't touched any of these.
Go to add on indicators.
Oh shit, I'm so noob to this, so you're gonna have to even go further back.
Go on indicators up there.
You
click add, and then you go CBD, perp, and CBD spot.
Okay, cool. And then I'll do the perp. Okay.
And then so spot was continuing to sell off through that whole rally, and then once it hit 19.6, it just shot up like a rocket.
Yeah. Interesting. See, these are things I've never looked at, and I'd like to. What do you see now? I mean, obviously we see, I think that's perp is green. No, spot is green. Oh
yeah, spot is
that's good, right? I mean, you generally want to see rallies driven by spot buying, not perp buying.
100%. Although, I've been trying to figure that out, because perps got off board at 27, and it just makes me wonder if that's all hedging or largely hedging.
Oh yeah, like shorting against their spot positions that they just aped into, which is a weird thing to do, because then you're basically just net neutral. Might as well be in cash. I don't know.
Well, why not acquire your spot position, become net neutral long before the halving? We get a second leg down, like is common in bear markets, and now you have a lot of your spot bag is paid for by those shorts, and then you just let off the perps when the halving comes.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some strategies there that are way, way beyond my pay grade. But like, generally speaking, spot buying much better, because that's like, hey, I'm gonna go buy some Bitcoin, I'm gonna go put it into a new wallet. There was some status I saw the other day of like, I don't know, like 1 million new Bitcoin wallets created in the last some period of time. I want to say month, but I feel like that's too short. But it was some period of like 1.8 million Bitcoin wallets. And if they're spot buying, like they're probably holding. They're certainly not like getting liquidated on each little wick down. So you don't want to see perp driven rallies typically.
There's one or several actors on Coinbase that are, every time you've seen just ridiculous face ripping, like that night when it went to 29 for the first time.
Yeah.
That's all Coinbase Chad. I've been calling him out in the pit every time he does it, but
I've been noticing that. So I guess that's who you're talking about. And you know who also likes to watch Coinbase volume as his main thing is Mr. Rob Levy.
Yeah.
He's always telling me, he's like, go watch Coinbase, because that's your US based institutional bid. Aside from whatever like OTC and other, back market shit they're doing, he's like, it's Coinbase. So it's a good place to kind of get a sense of institutional bid, he likes to say. So you're not alone in that.
That's coming from Mr. Institutional.
Mr. Institution himself. I mean, for everybody's sake here, I decided to be responsible. I longed the Bitcoin range low. Actually, shout out to Smeety yesterday, because I had a meeting with like our night nurse for the babies, right? So she's coming over, and we're watching it start to come down into the lows, and like basically was going to stop me out. And I'm like, fuck, I cannot believe I have to go do like real life shit. And he's like, yo, do you want me to just call you if it like nukes the lows and then recovers real quick? Like spam your phone. I was like, yeah. So I'm outside in the back chatting with this lady, and like I get the call literally 10 minutes into this meeting. Smeety's on the phone. He's like, yo, get back in here and long Bitcoin. So I just like, I race back in. I managed to grab it pretty close to that. And then anyways, the point I was trying to make is I closed half here today just to like help make sure it doesn't actually become a good close and it just moons. So, you know, thank me later. But I figured, you know, if we do get range high rejection, come back in, I'd love to reload and not be like I gave it all back. So, but anyways, shout out to Smeety for that call, because I, you know, if you were charging commission, dude, I'd have to throw you a few K right now.
Why they pay me the big bucks, man? I just watch the charts and tell you when it's moving.
So hey, get inside and push buy and go back out. I was like, okay, we'll be right back.
BTC's making another run for it, dude.
It is, dude. It's moving.
Yeah. All perp led. Spot just started getting on board, which makes me think Spot will just.
Well, like, and I've been beating this horse dead. Like the accelerating trend, it should not wait around here. We just had to wait around. We had a very painful wait around, and then the cat's out of the bag, and the market like. So who's selling here in size? Who's trying to like short? Who's putting the market in? The guys who move markets put lines in the sand. They're backing off here, and I think they're going to back off in a big way, and it's just going to turn into this like massive FOMO rally. Whether you know it looks like that or whatever it's going to look like, expecting like multiple green weeks and probably like really FOMO inducing ones. Like that's kind of the leg, and that's what you were saying too. You're like, that's why I'm buying the shittiest coins I can find, because that's typically the ones that explode at the ends of moves, which is probably what this would mark for this spring. If we're gonna say like 1, 2,
and that's what alt season is.
3,
it's one of the 4 horsemen. Floki CEO 2 and 3.
Every time you say it, I just giggle. Like it's just so ridiculous. But you know, I don't even have an MXC account, so I can't do it. But
now they literally would only let me put $700 in at 10x leverage. So
well, okay, well there you go.
It's just a joke. It's for
if we ride this arc down this summer, and that's like your September. You know, September is literally like I think 10 or 12 years out of 13. It's been red for Bitcoin. If that ends the move down too, and this arc plays, I don't want to hear any more shit about my Gann squares. Okay,
no, never again.
No more shit about McGann Square. Although this one will be dead. That'll be retiring this square that we've been hanging out with for like 3 years now. But that would make a lot of sense. Just like, anyways.
I did want to use this opportunity to pressure a friend of ours to apply some pressure. If there is a gentleman out there named Suede who's watching, Suede is a legendary shitcoiner from the pit. He
just hit 100x.
He just hit 100x on Ginny, GINI, and he promised us he would sell, and he is now
he's moved the goalpost.
Yeah.
Where do you chart it?
I don't know.
That's it. See this.
I don't even know where he finds these things. He bought this thing.
212K liquidity. That makes sense.
He bought this thing in the 3rd block.
Oh God.
Yeah, he sniped the launch, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And he's up 100x and he won't sell. So if you see Suede, bully him into selling his freaking 100x.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jesus. That is.
We don't want him to round trip another bag.
Yeah.
See, like even here, what is that? 24,000%.
Yeah.
My brain always hurts when I try to do that. Is that 245x or is that?
That's 2,400. Wait, 24,000%?
Yeah.
240x.
240x. But like, yeah. So he's like, he was somewhere right in here where it just becomes 10,000.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty sick. Yeah. I have a friend like this too. Actually, he is the master of finding 100x's. And all through last bull market, we were like literally call him up and be like, bro, if you don't sell some of that bag, I'm going to fucking come down there and kick your ass.
Yeah.
Because it's addictive. It's addictive. It's hard to do. And it's funny because the masters of spotting them. Also, here's the other thing. If you're the kind of guy who doesn't sell, that's how you got the 100x, right?
Yeah.
So
no, 100%.
It's not surprising that guys who catch 100x's have a hard time selling them. Because
how sad is it that the only people who will ever bag 100x's are the same people who will not sell them?
We'll never capture them. It's one of life's great ironies. Yeah.
Guys, Bitcoin is pumping. Let us
Oof,
all take a
Let's go.
moment of silence.
Ooh, oh, moment of silence for the 50% I closed. But you know what? I probably shouldn't have had such a big position, so it's more reasonable now, and it's the one I can just kind of enjoy.
Can we see what ETHBTC is doing right now?
Yeah.
Wow, let's take a look.
Good
at
call.
That. Is that like a cue? Like, do you already know what it's doing, and you just want us to?
No, I just
No, it's
trying to know
not.
what it's doing.
It's just chilling.
Yeah.
Just
Wait.
chilling.
Oh, this is look. I got like a Gann thing on here too. This is
What?
apparently this is like my Gann chart thing. Damn, I did a lot of ink on this one.
We're not at Gann support.
We're not at Gann anything.
Nuke
And this oh wait, that's not a Gann thing. This you know what this was? This was the extending broadening wedge something cylinder that we were tracking back.
That's a megaphone, dude. That's an
no, it's another
upsloping
thing.
megaphone.
It's a thing. I forget what it's called.
The something accumulation cylinder.
It's a cylinder thing. Yeah. Anyways, we were looking at it back here in 2021 in disbelief, thinking like it's supposed to just go crazy here, and then it did. But yeah,
I call it a trumpet of justice.
I think this is from like Messi and I and Rob back in like 2020 on the newsletter, because this is weekly sport. This is all the newsletter shit that I used to do. Anyways,
Wow.
okay, let's go look at the actual. Anyways, total side tangent there. I got ADHD. Let's go to ETHBTC. You have actual real life prescribed ADHD, okay? Not this fucking millennial Zoomer fucking, I have ADHD. No, you don't. You just watch too much fucking television. I am actually like, I rode a short bus to school, okay? So get out of here.
Yeah, me too, dude. I went in a van to a special school.
It's an even shorter bus. What are you trying to like flex on your bus length? Anyways, yeah, well, you should, because it makes us special, and I appreciate that. Anyways, ETHBTC is looking good. What's it doing on the hourly? It's kind of like it's not failing, which is what you want.
It's consolidating.
Yeah, you don't want it to see like if Bitcoin's going to break out, which it looks like it is. Actually, we can just try to get a 4 view up here. Can you see that? Yeah, that kind of works. So ETHBTC, we got the ETH perps moving higher along with it. We're going to get, sorry, but we're going to take Floki CEO off for a sec. I'm sure it's going to do well. Cut the stream. And then we've got Bitcoin perps. God damn it, load. I just heard the fan on my computer turn on, so apparently the market is giving it a hard time right now. All these candles. Boom. Yeah. I mean, look, Bitcoin's breaking out of this range. If it does so in a huge candle, you would expect to see BTC pull back, but we're in a new paradigm now.
We're in a new paradigm, baby.
So it's very possible they run, like if they ran together, so like ETHBTC just moves sideways while both of them just moon, the universe finds balance. That would be so sweet.
Yeah. No, BTC does not have to cuck dramatically for alt season to continue.
No,
it can still go up, dude. You now have permission to go up.
There was this really sweet point in time where everything just went up together and there was harmony in the universe. And then, and I feel like we've been programmed in the last year to feel like we can't have nice things, right? That disbelief rally. The most
compared to TradFi, this is like obscene.
Yeah.
What's already happened.
So I don't think it can't happen is what I'm trying to say. In the back of your head, you're like, shut up, Moon Boy. Like I always tell that to myself when I get super excited about the market again. But that's like that part of your brain that's been pre-programmed by the bear. You have to shed that shit ASAP. Not necessarily now. I've been saying shed that shit for 2-3 months now, but still.
You are clear to completely shed it. No brakes, no seatbelts
for like a month.
In April 2024, dude.
Yeah. Well,
financial advice.
Yeah. This is
not
financial advice.
Not
the kind you can't pay for. Okay.
Yeah. Take that out of the stream. SmeetyBoop. There was
all right. I'll sign off.
That's my signed. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. No, never financial advice. But real talk, everything looks good. Everything looks good,
including FTT.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
That I almost can't go there, but let's go there.
Yeah, FTX announced yesterday that they had recovered. They were searching in the couch cushions, and all of a sudden, whoops, $7.3 billion in customer funds.
You almost make it sound fun.
It is. It's fun. Johnny Ray's having a blast, I'm sure. And they announced that they're considering relaunching FTX. Think there were mistakes made in a wallet.
There were mistakes made in a wallet that I controlled. You guys get it?
Yeah.
What was that? I saw that on Twitter the other day, and everyone just laughing.
Some
Like,
dev
really?
said it about.
Okay.
No, it was like some real like terrible cringe influencer
Oh.
that was like, you know, she
It was a
launched some
she,
NFT.
yeah.
She launched some NFT project that that's probably basically rugged, and people were pissed. And then she, releases this Twitter statement that says, "Mistakes were made in a wallet that I control."
It's like a world leader being like, mistakes were made in a military that I control.
Yeah, like what a god tier way to say something,
Yeah, that's great.
inadvertently.
That's
So
like
FTX
like that drunk girl at the party kind of vibe. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
you
sure.
know, you see the car parked in the hedge on the side of the road. It's like mistakes were made while I was driving home.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, like a Bill Clinton tagline or something.
Yeah.
I love this word, discovers.
Yeah.
Like fucking Christopher Columbus over here. Like, we came to this
discovered.
land and we discovered billions of lost dollars. Like, fucking discovered.
What they did was they searched SBF's Fro, and oh my God, there's a few ledgers in there.
We actually just missed one ledger when we were searching his Fro at the jailhouse. And so look, this article is the most hopeful thing I've read since. And the reason I said I have a hard time getting into it is because, as you guys know, I got wiped the fuck out at FTX. Like 75% of my liquid net worth just boop.
Yeah.
So it's a painful topic because this makes me very hopeful. I'm like, shit, I'm up in my expectation from 10 cents on the dollar to like 21. But then it's like, is that 10 years? Do they restart the exchange next month?
They're thinking about
Question
Q3, right? Isn't
Q2.
that?
They said by end of Q2 they're considering it. Like that's what the lawyer said. Look, they have, as much as people like to hate on it, they actually had a pretty sick exchange. For those who used it, a lot of them liked it. I think the major problems with it were always that we kind of felt like we knew Alameda was trading against us, and it turns out they were, and still somehow losing money. If all that was gone, it's actually still a really sick exchange. I mean, you could do this whole unified margin thing and all your perps.
You can
So-
short
UX.
move contracts on the weekend. It's great.
The UX of the mobile app was like very, very consumer friendly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the point being, like a lot of people are like, I wouldn't trade there. And it's like enough people would. I think enough people would. It was a good experience. And then, of course, Binance, for those who cannot access Binance, it was a really nice alternative. So
I think the god tier trade of the whole cycle for the next cycle is going to be SBF for Johnny Ray.
what do you mean, like swapping them out?
Yeah, that's quite the rotation right there.
The thing is, they need a new guy, right? Like Johnny Ray.
John
was
Ray
brought
just
in,
an interim bankruptcy guy?
Yeah, he's a crisis CEO.
He's like an Enron OG. He's like, I dealt with the Enron bankruptcy proceedings, and I made $4 billion there. So let me do this one. You know, like they're charging an arm, and like he's not the guy to run it, but I'm all for comeback.
What if he was though?
See John Ray just doing live streams from eight monitors, just like, hi,
playing John Ray playing League of Legends.
Grows a fro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, I'm not going to trade FTT. That was obviously a news driven rally, but like if that headline and that reality starts to take form, this token probably is a part of it. And if they do a Bitfinex Leo style debt token that over time accrues value back to the creditors or debtors, I don't even remember which one I am. I'm one of them. But fuck yeah, dude, that would be so sweet.
Yeah.
Just the thought of even half of that coming back would be just
Bitcoin's going for it.
Bitcoin's going for it.
Sorry. I'm just
there it is.
I got a couple more alt charts to bring up once you guys are ready. Let me know.
Is it ice?
It's a fucking pit. You don't ask permission. You just fucking like elbow someone in the face and say, "Give me 3."
Yeah, you just literally stuff the chart 3 times, copy paste.
Yeah.
All right. Give me Synapse.
Okay, bridge tokens.
Yeah, I think with
Soon to be
STG
an
looking so
L1
good,
token.
there could be something there. You're gonna want more history. Yeah, go Dex Creek.
Yeah. Sinew.
Kind of a cursed coin.
Yeah.
Look at all my charting attempts. Never really did well yet.
Yep.
But that's usually when I give up. Take a look.
healthy 4-hour turnaround here. If you drop like a little reload zone from the
Just
bottom,
delete all that shit. Yeah. Oh, baby. Yeah.
and then check that 4-hour, it's just delightful.
Well, yeah, and for those who watch the show, y'all know this, but like there's some story being told here in the volume. That is a very significant shift in what's happening in the market, right? So it's just dead, going down. Nobody gives a fuck. Sellers run out, and look who shows up. And now we're back in the reload zone off of that breakout from the low. So yeah,
this coin was great at making a fool of all of its believers in the bull market. If you go back to the bull, it just would zigzag.
Yeah.
It never had its big moment except for the beginning. And it was part of the reason that the narrative was don't buy a bridge token, don't buy a DEX token. That was like the last cycle, like don't underperform by doing this. But many have the thesis that DEX tokens will outperform next cycle. And it's made me wonder about bridges, especially since Synapse is going to be an L1.
Yes, right.
Yes, I forgot about that. I heard the rumors of that. And that seems like, call me crazy, it seems like it's not priced in. Like nobody really knows about it. I even forget about it, and I knew about
Agreed.
it.
Certainly hasn't moved much, yeah.
And so this could be it announcing its intention to become bullish. It's a daily W. It's a 4-hour W. It's like new volume coming in from the low of this. So technically speaking, it's got everything. And then the question is like, how cheeky do you want to get? Do you want to wait for something like that? So you're not buying today's high? I don't know. But if you like Stargate, if you like Stargate, you have to obviously believe there'll be like, if there's a big Stargate rally, and then what are people going to do, right? They're going to go
Bridge
buy
wars.
They're going to buy the bridge tokens, and then Multi goes, and Synapse goes. And funny enough, I actually use Synapse today. I use it. It's one of the dApps that I use.
Synapse is the best.
Quite regularly.
It's one. Yeah, it's funny because
it's my
like
favorite.
One of the more useful things that's ever been built in crypto.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite project.
They do just keep giving lots and lots of the token to stables holders. And what do stables holders do, guys? They convert to stables.
Yeah,
that's fair. Do we have any info on like tokenomics around like maybe there was the end of vesting, some other copy bullish things we could think about to make me want to long the highs here today?
Fresh cope just dropped.
No, you should look out for a report in the future though, because when we cover Omnichain, that's definitely one I want to cover.
Okay,
cool.
Nice.
There's a little hint there. So for those of you who weren't, I have to do it today on behalf of our guest who has been putting out these really sweet reports with another analyst at our fund. This is one that they most recently did. It has a really cool picture. At the very least, you can click on it. But yeah, throw a follow over to Magnus Capital on Medium, because these guys are going to keep pumping out these reports, and they are getting more and more in depth. And we just got a hint at one that's coming up on Omnichain, so that'd be sick.
Not the next one. This Monday is going to be a different one, but
different one. Okay, so yeah, we've got them lined up. But you did a Hong Kong one, which is still my best thesis for this alt season. Although today, Circa kind of changed my mind. I'm starting to think doggy or shittier things, but we'll see. We'll see if I can get an account somewhere that lets me buy Floki CEO, but I'm not buying that coin for the record. But China narrative, I really like China narrative. You started there and then LSD. So yeah, Omnichain. So keep an eye on that Medium if you want to hear more from SmeetyBoops.
That's right.
Just a heads up, I've got to bounce in 1 or 2 minutes.
We know you have to leave.
Could we do a quick? You know what? I'm trying to get my dude's Twitter up. It's sad, guys. He doesn't even have 100 followers. This kid. Can we pump the numbers on SmeetyBoops?
Yeah. If you guys couldn't tell, I haven't made it yet.
Yeah,
right.
I said to him like earlier this year. I said, dude, you just got to start tweeting a lot. You like don't not have any following at all.
Take a really hard maximalist stance, one direction or the other on a single coin, and you will do incredibly well.
Yeah, and then do that, but also as a reply guy to bigger accounts. You have to be the best reply guy ever. Really call people out, be really aggressive. You have to be emotional.
Say things that piss people off and make them want to retweet you with anger.
Yep.
Yes.
100%.
And this is coming from like a guy, like I'm not very good at growing my Twitter. I've been here 5 years. I'm at 10K, and like 80% of that was just like hanging out with Dani for 2 months during Dani season.
Yeah.
Like we did Frog Radio and we all this shit, and I got all these followers. And since then it's been a wasteland, but like that's okay. But SmeetyBoop, you got to hit 100, my guy. I think just on the stream we could get you to 100. So
Yeah,
like
I just
the,
followed.
like the stream, like the stream, sub to the channel, all that good shit, and follow at SmeetyB on Twitter.
Would be much appreciated.
And we do got to
Since you mentioned it, I think we
Julie's
should
got it.
definitely close out with a nod to Dani's season.
Oh yeah, you were talking
because Ice just announced
Yeah.
Popsicle Finance. Danny's back in the Discord, and Popsicle
Wag
Finance
me.
has announced a massive transition.
Wag me.
I miss Danny. I miss Danny.
I miss Danny
Yeah,
too.
we
dude.
all do.
Yeah,
he was the best.
he was the man.
He rocked.
So I'm glad to hear he's back. And then, so this is Ice kicking it. Like, what is that? Like multiple X's. Dude, it's up 16x off the lows.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I capitulated my bag at some point. Probably actually definitely below this level. It's up 2,000% off the lows. I mean, if you bought the pip capitulation.
Nice
That's a
little
sick move.
20X.
Does that mean Spell's gonna move? Do we have a season here?
I don't think Danny's in control of Spell anymore. Although, again,
No.
one of the more useful dApps that's ever been built in crypto is Abracadabra IMO.
Yeah. Yep. And no, he's not. He publicly left the team. They're still grinding, but I think some of the devs are from Ukraine, so they were obviously been having some issues over the last year dealing with the war.
Their Magic GLP vaults are
So-
bussing right now.
Our hearts go out to them. I know they've been struggling a bit with that, but in general, this chart looks all right. And I mean, they survived a UST collapse and an FTT collapse, and MIM never lost peg beyond like a couple of normal little penny fluctuations. So very useful decentralized stable coin. So I still like Spell.
I love Spell, dude. I hope it makes a resurgence. I hope we get Danny season 2.0. That would rock.
We got to wrap it up.
Looks good.
Okay, gang.
Been a goddamn pleasure.
Yeah.
So good to be back. You guys inspired me last week, and I just couldn't wait to get back in the pit. And we got
It was awesome. And SmeetyBoop, thank you for joining us. We hope to have you back on ASAP.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm down anytime.
Great
the flow
analysis.
seems to be like a rotation slot down there, bottom left or bottom right, wherever it is.
Yeah.
You guys were so lucky to get to hang out with Rob Levy last week. I haven't got to stream with him in like 2 months. So we'll see who's up next week. We got a few requests in the pit.
Yeah, if you want to catch the jokes and the alpha that's on this show early, what you do is you go to hxro.com, you hit the community tab, you join the Discord, and you make fun of me, as is popular in the pit. Okay, it's what you do.
Yeah,
seriously.
And never share your best trades ideas with Circa, because he'll just tell you why they're wrong and make you want to not take them, and then laugh at you when they hit and you aren't in them. He's a troll, as trolls get. But no, it's good. It's good times. Just be careful in there, guys. It's a wasteland.
Hell yeah.
It's a cesspool of
So
delight.
definitely join. Check back with us next week, where we will have more exciting guests. And as always, get wrecked.
Always play from the All right, take care, guys.
See ya.
That's beautiful.